Hey, I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I just want to answer a frequently asked question regarding accounts that just don't come off a credit report. No matter what you do, no matter how many rounds you send, no matter what CFPB complaints you made, no matter what awesome factual disputes you sent in, or, law heavy templates, or online disputes, or phone complaints, or whatever you did, you're throwing your hands up in the air because this account or these accounts are just not coming off. That is what we are talking about today, and this is not going to be a long video. I wanted to make it very short and to the point, but here we are talking about this at a time when there are millions of people who are disputing because of all of the credit cards that were not paid, because of the mortgages that were not paid, because of the auto loans that were not paid, because of the business loans that were not paid, because of everything that we have going on. And guess what? This was never an easy process to begin with, right? I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're going to say to that. I don't care about anything other than the facts. And the fact is, this is not easy. And anybody that makes it seem like it is simple, anybody that is making this seem like unicorns and rainbows, anybody that is feeding you any of that bullshit is doing nothing other than wanting to add you to a spreadsheet that tells them how much money they make in a month. That's the truth of it, right? So here's the deal. Some accounts just cannot come off. And I think I have to explain this like 40 times a week. And it's not even like my position to explain this, because I'm not the one that controls what does and does not come off a credit report. I'm not the CRA, right? The credit reporting agency. I'm not a creditor. I'm not a collector. I'm a chick who does what I do to help consumers, just as I did for myself, back when I was 20. And guess what? It worked. It still works. But this is a very, very difficult thing to do, because if it wasn't, guess what? People would invest in this. You'd be able to finance your credit repair right before you went and you got your mortgage and your loan and your vehicle and whatever the heck else you wanted, right? Everybody would have $1 million home, because guess what? You'd be able to just get all these loans and not pay them back and get them off your report and, whatever. And we'd all be driving Porsches and Lamborghinis and all that kind of crap, right? There wouldn't be poverty. There wouldn't be, different classes. There wouldn't be any of that, because we would all just have a shitload of money and be able to wipe our asses with it, right? Money doesn't grow on trees. Credit repair doesn't work like that. Credit sweeps don't work like that. And if you are thinking along this route, you're going to find nothing other than disappointment. Now, let's just circle back to the actual process. Why is it that this can come off, but that can't come off? See, you never know ahead of time. And this is the thing. People ask me all the time, like, well, hey, if you look on my report, are you going to be able to tell me if this can come off? No, dude, I'm not a mind reader. I'm not a freaking fortune teller. I'm not a psychic. I can tell you that as long as it's not foreclosure in process or child support, that it can be removed. It has the possibility of removal from a credit report. I'm never going to tell you that it can absolutely 100% certain come off, because I don't force that. Just the same as a creditor or collector or anybody couldn't force you to pay your bills to begin with. You can't force them or make them remove something, right? I mean, even if you take them to court, how are you going to force that? How are you going to enforce it, right? I mean, people have to go to court like multiple times sometimes, right? So here's it. That's kind of the way that you have to look at this and understand this. What you can do is control your actions, and your actions stipulate whether something has the ability to come off to begin with. If you're using the wrong method, it's not going to come off, or it's going to come off and it's going to go right back on. It's going to be 10 times more difficult, or even 15 to 20 times more difficult, or it's going to be impossible because you utilize a system that was not meant for you, was not meant for your process, was not meant for your, late payment or your collection or your charge off, your repossession or your bankruptcy or whatever the heck it is that you're disputing, and you ruin it for yourself because you got banned from disputing. And yes, that absolutely does actually happen, right? If you dispute the wrong way, you run the possibility of basically being banned from any sort of future engagement with the bureaus regarding that specific item or set of items. So yes, that is totally a real thing, and you would actually have to sit there and wait the entire 7 to 10 years, depending on what it is that you're disputing, for it to come off your credit report, right? So that is, I don't want to say that's the mindset that you want to have, but basically you want to believe that these things can come off, right? You want to do everything possible and exhaust your remedies when it comes to disputing and removing your negative items. But you do need to go into this understanding that you cannot force the process. You cannot make something happen. You cannot any of those things, because it's a very, 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 very simple thing for someone to tell you a bunch of bullshit that's not true when, the truth behind it is, hey, I mean, You can dispute and you can fight and you can go to court and you can go to the CFPB, but you can't force them. All right. So if you are looking at your credit report and you're trying to figure out, well, hey, can this collection come off because I just removed this charge off? Well, the answer to that is yes, it has the possibility. But when someone asks me this question, are you sure that this can come off? I have to tell them, no, I'm not sure, because I don't force this. You never know ahead of time whether your medical collection is going to be impossible versus your bankruptcy. You might have bankruptcy come off on round 2, but 8 months down the road, you're still fighting that stupid $50 medical collection. And why is that? I don't know. Is it, that it was a computer that, keeps reading your disputes? Is it because you sent it out on Monday instead of a Wednesday? Is it because of whoever the collector is? Is it because of, that it was a person versus a computer? I mean, we don't know. We don't know those things. And when I said that you can control the things that you do, what I'm talking about is the method, using factual disputes, not using templates, not disputing online, not making, phone disputes or complaints, or disputing with the CFPB prior to the actual time frame that you're supposed to, which is after you exhaust all your remedies. Those are the things that you can control. Disputing all your negative items at once, all 3 bureaus at once, using factual disputes, as I mentioned, and custom disputes. And, that gives you the best possible chance of removal. And then you look at the other things, right? Making sure that you're not disputing more than 10 negative items per letter and 1 letter per envelope and 1 dispute reason per account. Those are all elements that make up, an effective dispute process. But even after all of that, everything else is out of your hands, right? Whether it's going to come off in 30 days versus 12 months, whether it's going to come off at all, whether it's going to come off and being reinserted. I mean, you have no control over that. So when someone says, why isn't this coming off when this, or this already come off? There's absolutely no way to know, because we cannot go and ask those questions because it digs us a deeper hole. All right. So when you're getting frustrated, when you are wanting to throw your hands up in the air and just say, screw all this, I'm going to wait, I'm going to do something illegal, I'm going to whatever, take a deep breath, realize that you might still have the potential to remove something if you change up your process, and get to work, make an action plan, look at all your possible options, and then move forward, right? Because, I mean, hey, if you do nothing, nothing's going to happen. But if you do it the right way, then again, you give yourself the possible chance of moving forward and getting whatever it is that you're disputing taken off your credit report. All right. So, I started this recording or this podcast or this whatever in one direction and kind of ended up in a totally different one. But you can't force these things to come off. You don't know what's going to come off prior to it actually coming off, and there's no way to force it to come off. All right. So understand that you can only control the things that you can control, that you physically have, dominion over. All right. Now, if you want to learn how to do this the right way, I have a ton of resources down in the description, and I actually just started my own, I don't know if you want to call it radio live broadcast with Capiche FM. I'm going to post the link in the description. I'm pretty sure though it's Capiche, CAPICE.FM /ask-Kristen. But anyways, I'm going to post it down in the description. When I do go on, it's always going to be live. Depending on the topic, you can actually be invited to speak on there with me so that I can answer your questions. You can use the live chat. I don't know. It's pretty awesome. We'll see how and where it goes. But anyways, if you don't want to do this yourself, if you are in the position where something's just not coming off and you want to see if you still have the possibility of getting it off, schedule a one-on-one call with me and I will see if I am confident in being able to get it off for you. Or, like I said, there's a bunch of do-it-yourself resources down in the description on the subscriber hub, and it's totally free. So I hope that you have a wonderful week, that you had a wonderful weekend, that you're being safe. We have a lot going on in the world right now. I mean, hey, it is what it is. But, you can only control the things that you can control. Anything outside of that, you got to just let it go. All right. I guess that's it. Go and utilize those links. Have a wonderful week, like I already said like 4 times. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I actually have 4 videos just off the bat scheduled for this week. All right, have a great one. Bye.